edition of Performance TV. And as I told you at the beginning of the show, that we were going to talk about a very simple way to fix a common problem in a lot of different vehicles, especially some of the older vehicles, and that is problems with the heating and air conditioning. And Chris Allen with HeaterTreater, you've got a real simple way to fix those things. But first, tell me, how does an HVAC system work in a vehicle like we see here?
Okay, this simulation is kind of give you an overview of how an HVAC system works, and you'll see the airflow coming into the plenum box and flowing through the AC evaporator core. The core is connected to the compressor on the engine, and when the compressor is off, it's a neutral element with neutral air coming through. You get AC when the compressor is on and cool down the evaporator core. The heater core is connected to radiator fluid, and as the engine warms up, that becomes hot. The blend door, which is connected to an actuator motor, diverts the air through the heater core. So to get heat in the system, we'll turn the AC evaporator core off and divert air through the heater core. The problem with the system comes in with the actuator motor that's controlling that little blend door. It has way too much torque for the system, and over time that door will break off. HeaterTreater has a method to come in through the plenum box, remove the broken plastic door, and replace it with a steel HeaterTreater door. And this will be a complete repair to the system with better sealing, better AC, better heat.
This particular vehicle, you know, a lot of guys, you're out there, you're towing your cars to the track, you're towing your boats, you're using your truck to run around town and pick up stuff or whatever. So this gentleman here that has this particular F-150, well, he's got the problem.
F-150 does have a very common problem with this failure, and the components that we make are made in two parts so that the door can be installed, and then the axle that connects to the motor come in from the end. And we have complete written instructions with photos and videos online. So it's a relatively easy fix for a very expensive problem, and something that's very annoying when you don't have heat and AC.
All right, guys, real simple to get started on this. The first thing you want to do is right in front of the shifter here is you want to go ahead and remove this panel, which is pretty easy to get off in here. We get this out of here and move on to the next step, which is to remove this bracket here, which is just a couple of screws, our 8mm here. Get our 10mm on down here. We can get this out of the way. Take out a screw on each side here, and we're going to get this out of the way so we can get to the heater motor back here. Get our 3 screws out, undo our heater motor controller, and just drop this down. Now we're ready for Chris to come in, where he's going to start working over here.
When you fully open the glove box, there's a gray plastic piece behind the box. It really has no function. We have to cut this out of the way to get to the box. Most customers choose not to replace this after the cut. Now we're going to make the actual cut into the plenum box, and you'll notice we have a tongue and groove in bottom. We'll leave that in place and just cut on 3 sides. After making the cut, there are 2 screws still holding this in place. So we're going to remove those 2 screws, and that will loosen the flap that we're taking out of the vehicle. And we've gotten access to the plenum box, and we can get to the blend door in order to replace the door.
What we're going to do is, now everything's unhooked in here, we're going to reach in, pull the old flap out. Now you can see this is definitely pretty flimsy and grimy. Big difference in how this one's been constructed, the HeaterTreater. This is actually 2 parts here, so what we're going to do is pull the bottom out. This is going to slide in, tuck up underneath. We're going to take this piece here, come up underneath, and go back in just like this. Now what we want to do is we want to get the heater motor put back up. It's got 3 screws. Get it plugged back in and make sure this works back and forth just like it should. And now that we have our HeaterTreater installed, we've got our heater motor put back up, we're just going to reconnect the wires, come over here and turn the key on. And what we want to do is we want to verify that it actually moves back and forth, which is very simple. All you need to do is to turn your temperature control back and forth, and you can see that it's actually got movement. And if you were wondering what this might have been for in your kit, this metal duct tape, well, now what we want to do is we want to get our heater box sealed back up. So we're just going to take the piece that we have cut out, get it sealed up. We'll be able to get this thing right back together. Well, now that we have this F-150 fixed here, which we heard from Chris actually at the beginning of the show, that these trucks do have a lot of problems with this. But HeaterTreater also has something for a lot of different makes and models. And Brad, you can tell us about that.
Well, that's true. We also have kits available for Dodge, Jeeps, Fords, and Chevys.
And what about a new product I heard you guys have coming out? A universal piece?
That's true. We have a universal kit. It's going to be easier to install than the HeaterTreater itself, and look out for it in the next couple of months, and it should be ready to go soon. Easy
to install. We like to hear that. And, you know, I don't want to make it easy on Tommy, though, and I think it's about time that he got to work. So when we come back, we are going to put Tommy to work and see what he's got for us.